Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, um, depending on when you watch this. My name is Dorian Hairston. I am an Appalachian poet. I'm an educator. I am a former baseball player for the University of Kentucky. I am also a baseball coach now. I have a lovely wife, an 8-month-old daughter, and I will add that the thoughts and opinions expressed in this message by no means are representative of my employers or any organization that I am affiliated with. These are my own. And I want to go ahead and start with a quote from James Baldwin, one of my most favorite authors of all time. And in an interview, he responded with this quote: I can't be a pessimist because I'm alive. To be a pessimist means that you have agreed that human life is an academic matter. So I'm forced to be an optimist. I'm forced to believe that we can survive whatever we must survive. James Baldwin. I am recording this video in my basement. Upstairs, my 8-month-old daughter is asleep, and how grateful I am that she can sleep peacefully. In these times, like many others, being optimistic can be challenging. This message will likely, by some, be misconstrued as pessimism. I want to make clear at the outset that is not my intention. At the moment, we are being challenged to adapt, to innovate, to be compassionate in ways that some of us are struggling to comprehend. I will start and remain with this idea of optimism. Every student that has had my class will tell you I never shy from the challenging questions. I am grateful my school and district has supplied me with text that let myself and my students explore these ideas together. Is healthcare a basic human right? Is affordable and adequate housing a requirement for a modern society to call itself civilized? Have we defeated racism? Why is it important to read and write? What does it mean to be American? These are only a few, but most important to me as an educator, for my students to appreciate, is this question. Is access to a free and appropriate public education a prerequisite for success in any civilization worthy of being called one? I ask my students these questions not because I want to indoctrinate them. I tell them regularly, it matters not to me what you think, but only how you think and that you think. As a black man, the descendant of slaves, I keep this in the forefront of my mind in every lesson I prepare. It was the fear of the slave masters that the knowledge gained from books would make enslaving a population impossible. On my refrigerator, there is a Frederick Douglass magnet that quotes, "Once you learn to read, you will forever be free." Books will teach you how to think, how to strategize, how to organize, how to problem solve, and most importantly, how to love deeply. I am optimistic because of my students. Because even now, we still have books, we still have smart people, and we are still alive. I ask my students the questions previously mentioned because I must. Because we are seeing what happens when we do not listen to the people who have answers to those challenging questions. There is no place in America where you can encounter more compassion, more love, more thoughtfulness, more courage, and more optimism than in a classroom where students are encouraged to explore. And that is an indisputable fact. And that is why I'm sad we will not share a classroom, at least for a little while. This is where my optimism lies. Our students, you, are equipped to solve the problems of today. For the challenges of the last 8 months, the solution can only be found through education, what Dr. King would call intelligence plus character. Through learning to appreciate art, literature, and the sciences. I have no idea when we will go back to in-person instruction. I know that education yields its greatest returns when you, the students, learn from each other and from your instructor. And while this is meant to be uplifting, sometimes the truth must also be acknowledged before that uplifting message can be received. If we were committed to you, the kids, as a community, as a country, we would have made sacrifices earlier, like almost every other developed country, to make sure that we can help you reach your full potential. And for that, again, I am terribly sorry, but it is not too late for us to write our path. This message is exclusively optimistic because we are perfectly capable of accomplishing what we must. We can be better. My message is simple. Read. Read everything. Learn to think, adapt, thrive. We will survive what we must. Now, what that survival looks like depends on how we respond. The truth is that educators are, if nothing else, painfully loyal to our students. We will give you everything we have every second of the day. What this country needs is you, students, to commit to doing better than what we are doing now. I know that is a tall task, but it is true. This semester will be challenging. It will be stressful, and there are things that will likely come up that we have never even thought of. But if you are just half as brilliant, half as resilient, half as patient, a third of as kind, and a quarter of as optimistic as I know you are, we can defeat pessimism. Because if nothing else, my daughter needs you, needs us, to commit to making this world better. And it starts with this semester, with each lesson, each word you read, each thought you share, because your education, quite literally, will save lives. Thank you. And I will see you in all the different classrooms we will share.